Hey, we're coming to Russell27 back here for another wonderful zombie video, and today we have the old whiteboard back. Oh, it must be a good one. If Rita has to break it out to draw some things for you to help explain the zombie storyline and what's going on. What's very interesting is with the release of Revelations, not only have we not found the first step in the Easter egg yet, so before I even get into all this, that's how you can tell this is dated. So when the ending of the Easter egg comes out, and some of this stuff might be off because the ending is going to change the storyline completely, understand when this video was made. But because it's before then, I'm only working off the Monty quotes we have in the radios so far found, about 10 of them, inside the Revelations map. But those 10 radios have really helped explain a lot in the zombie storyline. First, before I get into the radios and what's blown me away about the people who have joined later in zombies, really have no concept of what happened in the past, so these callbacks are confusing people. That's why I wanted to make this video, because people don't even know who the Call of the Dead crew is, and it's like, it's understandable. I mean, you picked up the game in Black Ops 2, you're gonna have no clue what's going on. But what's happening behind me here, we're going to talk about shattered universes, all right? This is something that I think I did a good job talking about. The devs themselves seem to have liked a little bit the direction I'm going. Not that it's necessarily right. We have a combination of everybody in the community seems to get a good understanding of Nazi zombies and Call of Duty zombies and all that. But this itself is this whole shattered universe idea. Monty is quoted telling us, hey, guess what? You're still you. When you look at yourself in the mirror, that's still you. And when you punch it and you see all those different shattered versions of yourself, it's still you.
You need to stop thinking in terms of originals, old and new. It's not like that. When you look in the mirror, it's still you. If you crack that mirror, you see multiple reflections. It doesn't mean you've actually multiplied, does it?
And that's what he was getting after with all the different universes and characters, 1.0s, 2.0s, 3.0, who cares how many versions we have. It's explaining we're all the same. So when we start getting into this, you can see what I've done here is I have Ascension, Go Ride Krovi, Jetsubo no Shima, Dryzendrach the Giant. I have all our maps sort of linked in very similar universes to what's going on. With that said, you might be like, oh, well, I don't think this map fits that universe and blah, blah. It's okay, all right? It's just a general idea to get concepts across, okay? So with that, let's talk a little bit more about what's going on. What we have here is this idea of these other universes getting involved. I'm sure I'm going to play for you a couple radios as I go, so if it cuts in and out, you're getting the background information. We can argue all day about how many universes, shattered universes there are, but I just wanted to go with 12 for right now because Monty says, you know, there's only about 12 snowflakes in the world. It's a good jumping point. It doesn't mean necessarily there's only 12 universes, shattered verses in the original universe, but who cares? Also, it's been disproven the multiverse, omniverse, who cares what verse, galaxy, whatever it is, it's all the same. They're interchangeable how we can talk about these things.
You know how people say that every snowflake is unique? That every single one is an individual or one-of-a-kind, irrefutable evidence of the miracles of Mother Nature? Well, it's not true. Snowflakes aren't all that unique. There are really only about 12 different designs.
We know DE and the Giant, same universe, because Groff references stuff in Dryzendrach that happened in the Giant.
This is Eagle's Nest, over. Richtofen! It's not you. When we didn't hear from you, we feared the worst. Fear not, Dr. Groff. It is me, Edward. Any reports from the Giant suggesting my demise are erroneous.
Thumbs up. Jetsubo no Shima, we know is different from Shangri-La because in there, but similar to the DE universe, but we know that Brock and Gary live until they crash on a plane. You could put Zet possibly with DE, but the moon isn't destroyed inside Jetsubo no Shima. The waves aren't too crazy, even though in the intro. We don't know for sure if this could be in the same universe. Go Ride Krovi just completely batshit crazy in another shattered version. you still have the continuity of the Dragons and Division 9 and all these groups working together, but they're all variants. They're all versions that aren't quite right. So in Gorod Krovi, we have Flying Dragons, Stalingrad, all kinds of things that shouldn't make sense, but do. I put Ascension over here because we have the First Strike poster, we have really strange adaptations of what is going on in Ascension. The Gersh Easter egg. We have Richtofen suddenly having a spacesuit, where in Kino, he doesn't have a spacesuit. When we go from Kino to Ascension, their memories might be the same, but we now know that's the blending of universes. We hear inside Revelations, even Dempsey will go into Origins and be like, all right, we got to free the little girl. And he'll be like, what did I just say? Why did that happen? It's all part of these 115 delusions and everybody getting close together because of 115 and displacement. So then we're going to get into some of the weird radios. I'll get there in 1 second. Nak Varuk Shino Darice I want to talk about because Monty talks about when you teleport it, you change the game. And that's why, or change the rules, we get to both Darice as a change here, and I didn't put Origins. Fixed it! So we have Origins and Darice being the possible points in time where stuff gets messed up. Origins, we teleport at the end of the Easter egg into that blue light, which is supposed to be a teleporter to Argatha.
We better get this little girl out of wherever she is. Oh, wow. What just came out of my mouth?
We now know that Revelations is Argatha, and the Ether is all interchangeably the same place. Treyarch is absolutely tying up all these strings and ending all these things that are being said.
Something else I should probably clarify. This is it. The Ether. The Infinite. Otherwise known as Agartha. Or is it Argatha? Well, whatever way you slice it, or spell it, it's the reality beyond. Beyond the world you know. Beyond your perception. Just so we're clear, I'm absolutely not talking about death. That's a whole other can of worms.
Origins and Darice. One of these two is the true breaking of the camel's back. It would seem like Origins, because A, the title of the map is Origins. B, he's referenced Maxis changing the game again when he was put into the drone. The 115 protected him, or excuse me, the machinery protected him from the 115. At the end of Origins, Maxis was somehow saved when he flew up into Argatha, so he must have ended up in Revelation somehow. The whole idea there.
The vessel you constructed for him back in World War I somehow shielded him from the influence of Element 115. He opened the portal between the worlds and, well, that's where and when shit really went tits up. The world within the world got turned upside down and inside out, if you can imagine such a thing. So, anyway, it was around then that I was forced to step in. I mean, you remember he was actually just a little drone the last time you saw him. Anyway, he's in the summoning key now. Buggered if I know how we're going to get him out.
If it's true that Samantha is the announcer, we still can play with the Samantha in Origins might not be Samantha. It might be the Shadow Man impersonating her, but that, see, I made a video earlier about that. There's evidence to support that idea, but not from the quote I was using in that video. So that's why I took that one down, because I don't want to give you false information if I know it's not true. So here we know Maxis was only a brain that got to Monty, which means he didn't have his soul preserved. All these things are about preserving souls. The Easter egg itself is going to deal with getting Maxis out of the Easter egg, or excuse me, out of the summoning key. The whole deal here is his soul wasn't saved. What does that mean? Who does that mean? All the kids, all the children are the souls of our characters preserved and saved, free of corruption. There's a nice quote I'll play for you now.
Those kids in the house, they're actually us, created from our souls in the summoning key.
Yeah, Dempsey, the children are us. But they are free of the confusion and delusion that has shaped our existence.
And as you hear Richtofen explain that to Dempsey, the whole idea is it's part of this universe, all right? Originally, it was to hide them out here. We wanted to hide the children because this was unfixable. They're going to stay in this beautiful, beautiful world. But the summoning key comes in here, and it messes everything up. We get our little summoning key here, right? And then we got our giant blue sun, Apothecan's sun that comes in, and it just ruins all that. Just, ah! bad Dayville. So what ends up happening is now we're trying to find this world, all right? And still, based on all the evidence, I 100% think at the end of the day, this world is gonna lock out all the other worlds. Something's gonna happen where these other worlds can no longer influence the main world, and that'll be the representation of us, our society, our world, our screwed up world in whatever way it is. The zombies and all this other stuff won't be able to influence in any way. The gateways that the keepers have set up and the apothecons and all, no more. All that stuff's going to be disappeared and somewhere else. Finally, let's get into these Mob of the Dead, Call of the Dead, Five Death, Rucked, and possibly even the remakes. What is Read On about in this, all right? So let's start with Call of the Dead. Call of the Dead is amazing, the radios that end up happening here. If you do not remember, originally Call of the Dead is where we had a cast of characters where there's George Romero, he's a very famous director in reality, who took a wonderful cast of celebrities, Danny Trejo, Michael Rooker, Michelle Gellar, Robert Englund, filming in Siberia, and then we play the map and we save our heroes, and then they get saved and the zombies go away and they live, and blah, blah, blah. You kind of scratch your head like, how do those guys live? Similar to 5. When you see the 5 cutscene, you're like, what? Why do they live? Like, all these zombies attack the Pentagon and then nobody talks about it. There's no repercussions in that world that zombies attack the Pentagon. Well, we have one of two things that can happen. The first thing that could happen is that those radios we hear are actually the endings of the maps we play. Not likely, because stuff is weird, stuff is off. Especially in the Call of the Dead Michelle Gellar radios, all right? What we hear here, so actually I'm gonna let you hear them all. So I'm gonna let you play all the Michelle Gellar radios right now.
I started going through his research, and good fucking lord, this is a confusing mess. So much shit about time travel, different dimensions. Honestly, I'm not even sure what he's getting into. You can make this stuff up. A mad German scientist, a foul-mouthed American, a drunk Soviet, and a warrior Japanese soldier, all working together? It's been 6 weeks since the rest of the Call of the Dead cast and crew went missing. Hollywood's lost its fucking mind on this story. An entire production vanishes? Crazy talk. I told you, this is why you don't shoot in Siberia. So with agent on line 1, manager on line 2, I needed to sort this quickly. I'd rather zombies come for me than an agent. That's real horror. I don't need that. So I started with a simple one. Something about 2 guys named Brock and Gary looking for a Gartha. They finished like dead. Figured I'd start there. Next thing I know, I'm in this jungle, and it's hot and humid, and the sky goes black. Like, dark black. I look up, there's an eclipse, and these things start chasing me. Like zombies. Trust me, I know how it sounds. I've been fighting them so long now. I should be dead. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have died, but it just keeps going.
Welcome back. I hope that was interesting and eye-opening just initially because you say, oh, I'm already seeing what's going on here. In the Call of the Dead Death Radios, we find out the entire cast and crew of Call of the Dead is dead or missing. You have Michelle Gellar uncovering all the research George Romero did, which finds out all about our original 1.0 characters. So what we see and play as in our original version of Call of the Dead in Black Ops 1. And then she ends up fighting the zombies and teleporting to Shangri-La. This is why these radios show up in Shangri-La. Somehow she gets there, and she keeps dying infinitely in Shangri-La. Very different from Brock and Gary in Zetsubou no Shima when they found Shangri-La, and very different from the universe we know and love in Shangri-La, where Brock and Gary die a bunch and our characters go there. But for some reason, Michelle Gellar gets stuck in there, which has tons of implications for the future and what Shangri-La could hold for future zombies. There's much more to this storyline. It's not ending anytime soon. Then we get to 5. We hear Robert McNamara talking about all the people dying in the Pentagon.
This is Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara. I am transmitting on a secure channel in the most dire of circumstances. The Pentagon is under attack from an unknown enemy. As of this moment, I am safely ensconced inside a janitor's closet. Unfortunately, I fear the President and the VIPs may not have found similar safe haven. From what I have observed, our attackers may be blighted by some kind of sickness. Either that or they're just dirty hippies under the influence of hallucinogenic substances. I can only hope that this message will bring rescue. Until then, please, pray for me.
Once again, we thought everything was solved at the end of the Pentagon map and game and all that. Here we have a clear death. You could make a solid argument that that is just the ending of 5, but it doesn't make too much sense given what we know of everything else. Mob of the Dead. Now these radios are almost throwaways, but what they do is they explain exactly what happened in Mob of the Dead. Mob of the Dead we play and we have the cycle and these characters murder each other and all these weird things happen. But we find out in reality, in a real world here, that the 3 characters ganged up on the Weasel and murdered the Weasel, and then the 3 were put to death in the electric chair. We knew that from the radios we get in-game in Mob of the Dead, but here, once again, confirming the differences in the universes. There's this duality between what's going on. We have a universe full of zombies and a universe without zombies. We have a universe where people live and die, and this is what we're getting into. And of course, this is not heaven and hell. This is not life and death, so this is what you gotta keep in mind. Whole different game, according to Monty. This is just what our universe is talking about. Then you have Mob of the Dead and Shadows of Evil in the same universe. We've talked about this, but I'll touch on it briefly here. Is that Mob of the Dead and Shadows of Evil, you have the characters referencing one another. You have Jackie Vincent putting them in jail for the things that they did. It's all in the same universe. So we have all this. Great. So let's talk about the Apothecon and the Keepers, all right? Monty says the Shadow Man was his best friend beforehand. There's a wonderful quote we'll play now.
Now here's the thing. I knew a bloke, and I'm talking way, way, way back. He was the sweetest, most charming individual you could ever wish to meet. He was funny, too. We used to have such a good old laugh together. Honestly, my sides hurt thinking about it. He was my friend. He was my best friend. And then the Apothecons got hold of him. Since then, he's pretty much acted as their agent, zipping around the galaxy. Wait, I keep changing it, don't I? Which do you prefer, universe, multiverse, omni-fucking-verse? Oh, it doesn't really fucking matter, does it? Yeah, let's get on with it. Short version is, he's no longer sweet, charming, or funny. He's what brought them here, when he escaped the key.
And he says, all this happened because, again, the teleportation and changing the rules. These greater beings that Monty and the Shadow Man are, we don't quite understand where they're from or what influences they have. The children themselves are so fascinating in the explanation because it means our characters are real. We didn't undo World at War and Origins and all that. We're actually creating that future for the children. Somehow Sam got her soul put into the house. I'm not sure when that happened, or Edward Richtofen. How did their souls get into the house, and how come Maxis's isn't a safe soul? Well, you might even want to go a step further, because think about it. We don't see Maxis in Monty's house. Remember when all 5 children are there and Monty opens up the door? Guess what? No Maxis inside that house. It's very possible that the Origins intro cutscene versus Revelations intro cutscene, 2 different houses. We would have the house that we see in Revelations, and then a house, Monty's house, inside the original universe free of corruption. So we have very possibly 2 different houses happening. Just a suggestion. We have this weird dynamic that Monty and the Shadow Man aren't quite gods, but they're super powerful beings. Monty's not creating anything, he's only ripping stuff and pushing them from other universes. Universes where 935 will cook up chemically engineered perks and then send them to all these other universes to help our characters out. Why was Monty, though, helping out our Mob of the Dead crew, our Shadows of Evil crew, our 5 crew, our Call of the Dead crew? Why do his influences continue here as he's trying to solve the issues of these Apothecons? We don't know yet. In summary for this video, what's going on in Revelations? Well, I'll tell you. Revelations is this combination map of all the influences in the world. It is Argatha, the Ether, the Infinite. This is everything is going on in Revelations is a representation of all these universes bleeding together. All the maps we've previously played are canon, for starters. They're all part of the storyline, but they're all shattered versions and little different images of the original universe that used to be here before everything got messed up. We have had the house try and preserve these children, hide them away from Monty and the Apothecons. Didn't work out because the summoning key was left on a table. Dr. Monty and the Shadow Man are not gods, but they act as super powerful beings inside our universe. Both of them have limitations. The Apothecons and the Keepers are older than both of them and influence both of them in some way we don't understand yet. All the death radios reinforce this multiverse, just like inside the music trailer showing our characters dying multiple ways, experiencing different things, and the endless cycle that Michelle Gellar is not dying. She continues to die, but continues to fight. It's this weird paradoxical cycle that we will address in the second part of the Easter egg in Revelations. The first one's opening the summoning key. The second one is dealing with the cycle or the loop. I hope this general overview of the storyline helped you out. I will be making a whole in-depth explanation after Revelations. I'll do one of my big zombie theory videos so you can get all that. But this is in general everything that's going on in Revelations right now. We're trying to stop Shadow Man and Monty. We're trying to save the universe, stop the zombies, stop the Apothecons, stop the Keepers. We're trying to clear all this out, save these few souls, hide it away from all the nonsense, and then the nonsense will be our future games, but we will know we have one safe universe where everything's all right. I want to thank you so much for 129,000 subscribers. Your support has just been outstanding, and it absolutely warms my heart. So happy that I put so much passion and effort into this. Even though I'm a full-time student, I am working ridiculous amount of hours to try and get you guys all this stuff. I'll continue my streaming Easter egg hunts once we have more stuff, but I want to actually edit some more videos like this because I love talking about the storyline with you all. I really do appreciate your support. Share this with all your zombie-loving fans, and I want to let you know, you might be annoyed at this point, but the Gobblegum posters, because a lot of you people love the posters I make. So, for $25, you can get 5 Gobblegum posters. They're pre-orders through September 2nd through the 16th. Now, I'm not selling them anymore, all right? They're selling awfully well, though, so maybe I'll bring them back if you guys ask for them. But in the meantime, no posters are coming back until maybe October, maybe December. We'll see how it goes. Most likely October because you guys send me enough angry emails. In the meantime, you can go pre-order those at radcompany.org. You can check out all the descriptions, how long it takes to get there. Just read it and you'll get all the information. But I just wanted to let you know they're available if you would like. I hope you did enjoy this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next video. Bye. A special thank you to all of our sponsors on Patreon. Without their help, we could not continue to make videos here on Rad Company. Thank you especially to Beefy, Hunter17, Logan, Davo, Kingdom Hops, and Matt. For more Rad 27 videos and Rad Company videos, check more Revelation goodness under the click more. And on Rad Plays, you can see my daily vlogs I took at CODXP, and they were journals, and I'll have all kinds of more of that stuff being edited in the meantime, so they're going to be up there. I'm just swamped with Revelation stuff. I hope you had a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.